So I'm from Gander, Newfoundland, and I grew up going to a Pentecostal church. When I became a teenager, my thoughts started to become a bit more abstract. I kind of rebelled against my parents until I didn't want anything to do with your God, and took off on my own for a little while. And I got to a point where I was working part-time, I was broke, messing around with girls too much, and I ended up moving in with one of my good friends. And he invited me to take acid with him. We tripped for 18 hours, and it was easily the lowest and darkest moment of my entire life. When I finally came down, I had this sudden urgency in me of I need to figure out what life is all about. I felt a lack of purpose, and I think due to my roots in a Christian church, I started to pose my questions in the direction of Jesus first. So a few friends encouraged me, if I'm going to go on this Jesus journey, then why don't you take off and study theology? And I started to get a sense of, I want a church plant. I want to do it in a place like St. John's. So the church we're starting is called Local Church St. John's, which is very to the point, no hidden agenda. We are a church in the local neighborhood. And lucky for us in St. John's, we ended up getting a bit of press, and a lot more people heard about us and gained some interest. And a surprising amount of people who just have no Christian background at all. So I thought, man, pressure's on. What do we do now? And I was sitting with my wife, and I was like, I think we have to do Alpha. I couldn't think of anything else that would act as a proper introduction to what Christianity is all about. So Alpha has been very helpful in that there's almost this pressure in a pastoral role, and especially a new pastoral role, if you have to have all the answers and you have to be able to fix everybody and do everything. But a big thing we keep going back to as a church is we don't want our church to be monologue driven. We really want it to be dialogue driven, as I think that's true to our context where we eat together and we're neighbors and we're all part of this city together. So Alpha was the perfect launching point of, here's a topic, whether you agree with it or not, you think this is lame or brilliant, let's see where the conversation goes. It gives people the opportunity to express to their friend circles or the people that are in their lives what they've experienced, to participate in continuing the story of God and the story of Jesus without having all of the answers, without having it all figured out. But it quickly brings them in to be part of what is happening with local and what God's doing in our city.